All right, so let's take a look now at some of these problems and see what kind of looks they give us and what we have to do. So the first thing we have to always recognize is that in order to help keep us organized and make things easier, we want everything as much as possible to be in this form as ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, right? You think of that as standard quadratic form. I know it has a name, that might be it. I'm not remembering it exactly, so I apologize, but I do know that when it's written this way, it's much easier to be able to tell what's what, and we are concentrating on, our A, our B, and our C, because that's what you use for the discriminant. All right, so for the discriminant, just to remind you, and probably just to continue to teach you because it's new to many of you, we have b squared minus 4ac, right? That is our discriminant. Now, in the actual quadratic formula, there's obviously more to it than just this, but this piece right here kind of controls the destiny of how many solutions we have and what kinds of solutions they are. All right, so that's what we're going to do. And in the last video, we talked about that if this piece right here is greater than 0, then we're going to have two reals. All right. If that piece is equal to 0, we're going to have one real. All right, did I write, is that an A or an E? Wow. And then if it's less than 0, we're going to have two complex solutions, right? So it's just a matter of going through this, figuring out what we need. We've got all the tools to do it. It's just putting it into this, right? So let's get started. So for this first one right here, right, we have 7, negative 11, and 5. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write A equals, and that's going to be my 7. I'm going to say B equals, because this is in order, I'm not having to rewrite anything because it's in that form, this ax squared plus bx plus c. Sorry, I should have clarified that. B is negative 11, and C is 5. Okay, so now we put it in our form. So we're going to have negative 11 squared minus 4 times A is 7, and then C is 5, right? So negative 11 squared, so that's the same as negative 11 times negative 11, all right? And that's going to give me 121, right? So I'll just draw a little arrow to show you what I did there. Negative 11 times negative 11, right? That's what that means, right? And then minus, well, 4 times 7 is 28, and then 28 times 5 is 140. So we have 121 minus 140. So I'm going to finish this, right? I'm going to finish doing this, and if you need to use a calculator for that, that's fine. But when the negative is bigger than the positive, I know I'm going to get a negative number. And then you just reverse it and just do 140 minus 121. And that gives me 19. And so my real answer is negative 19. Okay, and so now, according to what we talked about, that means that this is less than 0, so it falls under this category, and that is going to give me the number, so it's going to give me 2 solutions, and they are going to be complex. All right, so you could write 2 complex solutions, 2 solutions. They are complex, however you want to write that. Okay, just so you got the idea. All right, this next one is yesterday I started making this video of these problems, and I was really tired because I made a common mistake that a lot of people would have made, which is I just assumed this was A, this was B, this was C, because that's how it was written. But my x squared term is right here. So I got to move some things around. So I'm going to take this term right here. Remember, the sign to the left always belongs to it. So I'm going to go 15x squared. And then I want to find my x term, which is this guy, minus 7x. And then finally tack on your c term, which is there. And now this is in my form, right? So I've got my A is 15. And I think it's a good habit to write these out, right? To kind of go through this. C is negative 4. All right, so we're going to do our b squared minus 4ac. So let's put in our numbers. So b is negative 7. We're going to square that. Minus 4 times my a is 15. And my c is negative 4. So negative 7 squared is, we'll do the work off to the side here, is negative 7 times negative 7. So that's going to give me 49. All right. So we've got 49. And then 4 times 15 is, so I'm going to have a minus, right? And we'll do 4 times 15 is 60, right? 15 times 4, 0, 2, 60. I'm doing this as much for me as I am for you. And then 60 times 4 times negative 4, let's just do 60 times 4, is 240, but it's going to be negative. So I got negative 240. And so this is where you have to really be on your A game with your signs and everything, is that's going to help you kind of determine, you know, what's going on, and also just the general arithmetic and numbers of it. You got to be solid on that. So I have two negatives that are right next to each other, right? I've got these guys that are sitting right next to each other. So when that happens, right, that means we're going to have 49 plus 240 because they effectively cancel each other out. That simplifies to 289. All right. So that means that I am going to have two real solutions. All right. I'll have two solutions, and they're both real, meaning there's no i's, right? Because this is going to give me a positive number to take a square root of, and we'll be in good shape. All right. So next video, excuse me, we'll look at a couple different looks and wrap it up. So thanks for watching, and appreciate your focus.